What was the first thing said? I have the right to remain silent.
Okay. You realize that I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to get you out of here quicker. And you're just sitting here.
Well, am I free to go then?
No, you're not free to go.
Why?
Because I've got to get to the bottom of an investigation.
Here in the interrogation room is Grant Hardin, a 48-year-old former chief of police from Garfield, Arkansas. Hardin has a law enforcement career spanning 25 years, but now he's a suspect in the murder of James Appleton, a 59-year-old volunteer firefighter. On February 23, 2017, James Appleton was sitting in his truck, parked on the side of the road. He was on the phone with his brother-in-law when another vehicle pulled up beside him. A loud bang was heard across the phone, the unmistakable sound of a gunshot. James was dead, and his shooter sped away in a white Chevrolet Malibu, but not before a witness identified the man fleeing the scene as none other than Grant Hardin. Hours later, Grant is brought in for questioning. Heading the interrogation is Detective James Chamberlain, who will soon realize that he is in for one of the most difficult interrogations of his life.
I'm Detective Chamberlain. I know we have James Chamberlain.
Okay.
Did you used to be a police officer somewhere? Or I recognized you, but I wasn't 100% sure where I knew you from. But somebody said that you used to be a police officer in Gateway or something like that. Okay.
The detective starts with one of the oldest tactics in the book. He tries to build rapport with the suspect, gain his trust, and then fish for information. However, Grant is not their usual suspect. He is well versed with the detective's playbook and will not play by his rules.
Anytime we bring somebody into the sheriff's office, we read this before we start talking to people, okay? And it's just your statement of rights for us. And before we ask you any questions, it's my duty to advise you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
The detective reads Grant his rights, as they do with all suspects, but unlike most suspects, he is aware of them and will make good use of them during this interrogation.
The date is the 23rd, February 23rd. And it is 9:17 p.m. 27. Okay.
As the detective completes the initial paperwork, Grant is restless in his chair. It is quite evident that he doesn't want to be there and even glances at the door. His posture says he's not in control, a situation he is not used to, since he is usually on the other side of the law.
Here's the thing. I want to talk to you about what you've done today, okay? Can you just take me through when you woke up this morning to when you got stopped by the police out there in what's the name of that road you're on? I'm sorry, I'm drunk. Gant Ridge?
I'm not going to say anything after I've been read those rights yet.
Okay. Why don't you want to talk to me about your day?
I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of sickly to what I'm here for and things.
Okay.
Here is where it gets tough. Despite the detective's routine questions, Grant has decided to remain quiet. He's making complete use of his right to remain silent. By his own admission, being in the interrogation room is making him sickly.
So you don't want to explain what you've done today? Did you? Is there a reason behind that?
He read me my rights, and I don't know why. And so, what was the first thing said? I have the right to remain silent.
Okay.
After Grant tells the detectives once more that he is going to remain silent, they decide to walk out. This could be a good strategy during an interrogation. Spending some time alone will make the suspect nervous, forcing him to think over his choices and maybe arrive at a conclusion that the truth is the best way forward. The detectives come back a few minutes later, this time with a different strategy.
By the way, I'm Detective Cordier. I think we met once before.
Probably so.
Yeah, I think so. Back when I was on patrol.
Okay, I talked to my boss. Maybe I think I was confused, or I may have confused you on what's going on here. I can't tell you exactly why you're here, and you being a police officer, you understand that. I need to rule you out as a suspect in a crime that's been committed, and that's why we got you here, because we need to talk to you, find out where you're at. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Chamberlain is now presenting himself as a friend, a well-wisher who has the suspect's best interests at heart.
You know, if I was in your position, I'd be like, hey, James, I did this, or Grant, I did this, I was at, here, and here, and I would just be done with it. And that way, you can get out of here. But at this point, like, I can't clear you from this because you could still potentially be a suspect. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if I'm not explaining it right or what is going on here.
I just have
Okay.
to, once the rights have been read, I have to, it says I have the right to be silent.
Yes. Okay.
Grant is still giving them nothing. The detective is now visibly frustrated at the lack of progress in this interrogation, but that only helps the suspect.
You realize that I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to get you out of here quicker, and you're just sitting here.
Well, am I free to go then?
No, you're not free to go.
Why?
Because I've got to get to the bottom of an investigation, a very serious criminal matter.
Okay.
Okay? And right now you're a potential suspect in that. Does that make sense?
I don't understand why I'm a suspect. No.
Well, that's for me to know and for you to tell me why you're not a suspect.
This is your time to kind of help us help you
Okay.
figure
Tell me
out.
this.
I do apologize on the front end.
No, I'm not mad at you.
I'm going to exercise my right to be silent.
Okay. So just tell me this. I know you were a police officer before, right? You're a police officer in Gateway? It's an easy yes or no.
I'm being silent.
Well, I can see that. We can do this all night. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You're going to continue to be a suspect until I find out otherwise.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute.
It's time for another trip out of the room for the detectives.
Hello?
Sir.
The detective comes back and applies yet another tactic to get Grant to talk. This time he uses his close connection with his family.
I'm trying to think of how to word this delicately. I'm not trying to get you in any trouble. I'm not trying to get her in any trouble. Okay? We've got a little daughter, 16, who needs her parents. Okay? I know what was said at dinner time. I know everything. Okay? I need your side of the story. Okay? I don't know if you've had a problem with this guy for a while, and this was an accident, or you maliciously chased him down, or what happened. But if I don't get your side of the story, I won't ever know. Okay? You know I know. I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I wouldn't be talking to them right now. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell me what led up to what happened today. And if I came across as being rude or upset or whatever earlier, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying to do.
You're fine.
I'm just trying to gather
I'm not sure what
facts.
happens or what's going on,
Okay.
but I just have to invoke my right.
Okay. So you're telling me that you don't want to give me your side of the story. That's what you're telling me. That I've got to put together what your wife has told me, what the crime scene's told me. I mean,
What I'm saying is, I have the right to remain silent.
that's true. You do.
I'm not saying I don't want to tell you anything or help you guys or anything. I'm just saying
You can sense the power dynamic in this room. Grant Hardin is now in total control of the situation. He lets the detective talk and talk without ever giving him any information. He has the police right where he wants them to be, frustrated, annoyed, and tired. Whatever they throw at him, he has just one response.
You told me I had the right to remain silent.
That's true. I did. Just because I told you you had the right to remain silent doesn't mean you have to remain silent.
I know, but apologies to you.
No, you don't have to
apologize
apologize.
to you.
No, you don't need to. No, you don't.
It's my right to remain silent.
Okay, and I'm telling you that's your right. But at the same time, if you don't walk me through what happened and why it happened, then there's no way for me to get. It's like this. It's like this. You're writing a book, right? You're writing a book. You got chapter 1, you got chapter 2, and chapter 3. Chapter 1 is what happened today, what started out today, how your day started. Chapter 2 is what led up to the incident, and Chapter 3 is you telling me about what happened to lead you up to that, because I don't have any of that information. I know you went to eat, out tonight. I know what you said at dinner. I know that you went to Lowe's afterwards. I know everything, but I don't know what caused the incident.
After pleading with the suspect for some more time, the police officer tries one more thing.
Your wife's about to leave. She wanted to give you a hug before she left. Are you good with that? I told her that it was fine. I don't have any problems with it. Just, come on. I'm sorry. I was just
Me too. Everything will be okay.
All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Once again, the detectives try to play on the suspect's emotions. He meets his wife and daughter, who are going back home. The officers would hope that this would invoke a response from Grant, who would like nothing more than to go home with his family. And if that doesn't work, it's Detective Cordero's turn to try and get the former police officer to talk.
How are you doing?
Right. Get ready to think about laying down up on that desk, but it looks awful hard.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be any more comfortable up there than what you are now. Can I get you anything else?
No, that's good. Thank you.
This has been an effective strategy in the past. Male suspects are prone to feeling safe and gullible when faced with a female detective.
Can you help me understand how we got to this point?
I don't know.
I don't know. Man, I remember being on patrol and running into you one night. Help me out on a call, back me up.
Oh,
It was way back in, oh gosh, it's been almost 3 years now.
well,
Two,
Yeah, probably
something
so.
like that. Yeah, something like that.
What Detective Cordero is trying here is building trust with the suspect. After all, Grant is a cop, and cops would usually look out for other cops. Cordero hopes that her anecdote would push Grant towards cooperation out of professional courtesy. Grant, however, has a predictable response.
And if we could do that, you just talk to me.
well, I just have to. Since you read those rides, I have to stay. I have to do the ride.
Well, what's the difference?
Undeterred, Cordero switches demeanor and tries to make Grant feel more relaxed. She starts discussing their sleep schedules and TV watching habits, hoping that this would bring his guard down and he'd finally open up.
Around noon. Did you get anything done today? No?
Oh no.
Did you watch anything good on TV? Usually that's what I do. I'd eat and watch TV. I'll work myself up a little bit. Anything good?
The conversation then turns to their favorite snacks.
No,
I kind of like my belly aching, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, I love frosted flakes. I'm not gonna lie. My kids will gripe at me because they think it's too healthy, but I love frosted flakes. What else did you do today? Anything fun?
Now the conversation pivots to chickens.
Did you get an experience outside today at all?
Not really.
No? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Did you a little bit at least? Get outside, do any yard work today, anything like that? No?
See. Fed the chickens.
Oh, did you?
Fed the chickens and threw some seed out, some grass seed out there in front of the front porch.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Does that take a long time?
No.
I've never done that before.
Interestingly enough, feeding chickens is an important part of this investigation, as that was Grant's supposed alibi. While he was out committing a cold-blooded murder, his wife thought he was in the yard laying seed for the chickens. Grant is happy to talk about his hobbies and his family life. However, as soon as the interrogation moves toward the crime he is there for, he completely shuts off the conversation.
Were y'all in your, is it your wife's car? The one that she was driving? Yeah. Is that, huh?
I'm asking, please forgive me,
No, you're fine.
but I'm just gonna have to stick back to my
Yeah, no, anytime.
silence.
I'm just chit-chatting.
I know you are,
You're fine. If you feel
and I
comfortable.
appreciate you.
Yeah, if you feel comfortable, you don't have to say anything.
But,
You're fine.
but I just ain't being rude, but I'm
No, you're not being
quiet.
rude. Yeah, no. Hey, just chit-chatting. I get it. I really do.
When nothing works, Detective Cordero is the one to blink first, and she starts telling Grant what they know about the case. The interrogators would usually withhold information from suspects and first try to know what they have to say. But here, even after hours, they are yet to get anything new.
Like you said, something happened today. It's something really bad. And if you witnessed it, then it's something we need to talk about. Because people witnessed you. So, but I want to give you the chance to talk. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather hear your side of the story versus anything else.
In her efforts to get Grant to open up, the detective leaves no stone unturned. She shows empathy, offers help, and tries to relate to his situation.
I do. I want to help you. That's the bad part. I want to help you figure it out. All I can do is sit here and say that I'll listen, work it out with you, figure it out together. But you have to be willing to talk to me about it. I'm a pretty real person. Pretty straightforward. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable and nerve-wracking sitting in a room by yourself with people that you worked with in the past, knowing the situation, but like I said, I wasn't there. You're the only one who can kind of fill in the blanks at this point. Am I right?
But on the other side is someone who is well equipped to handle anything the detectives throw at him. On top of being a former police officer, Hardin has an associate's degree in criminal justice from Northwest Arkansas Community College. He is making use of all that knowledge to rebuff the officer's efforts.
Are you guys gonna arrest me for something?
I don't know. Can't answer that.
Oh,
Did something happen today?
how long can you detain me?
Well, it's an ongoing investigation.
What does that mean?
It means they're still looking into everything.
Well,
And honestly,
I can't apologize, but I'm just gonna close my eyes.
no, I get it. It's okay. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out the holes. You know? Maybe get some water.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm gonna get some water. Okay?
No, it's all right.
No, I'm gonna go get some.
Oh, you're gonna get. I'm sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna go get some water.
Okay.
You want me to take your cup with me just in case you want? I can bring you some.
Yeah, that's fine. No, don't worry about it. I'm not being.
No, I don't mind. Hey, listen, I'm walking that way anyways. I'll get you some more. Might help you stay awake a little bit. Refresh you. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
At this point, Grant has stayed quiet for hours in an effort to not incriminate himself, and he finally makes a request that would effectively put an end to this interrogation.
Well, I appreciate you being quiet. It's kind of a nice alternative to what I've dealt with before. Kind of nice to talk to, too. Makes time go by. Do you want to talk to me?
Can I get a lawyer?
Grant Hardin had full control of the interrogation from start to finish. He knew his rights as a suspect and made full use of them. However, this would not help him out in the court of law. In the following days, the police recovered the vehicle and the murder weapon from his property, and he finally pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in October 2017 for killing James Appleton. He was given 21 years minimum for the murder charge, but it would soon come to light that Grant Hardin was more than a cold-blooded murderer. When the police took Hardin's DNA, they were surprised to find a match in their criminal database.
After Crime Lab was able to develop the suspect DNA profile, it was checked against profiles in the state's known offender files, as well as other states' files. As the science and knowledge of DNA expanded, the sample was ultimately checked against profiles across the country through the CODIS, or the Combined DNA Index System. When it was served on Grant Hardin, a white male from Benton County currently serving a 30-year prison term for first-degree murder. RPD detectives received word from the Arkansas State Crime Lab on January 29th that Hardin's DNA profile matched the suspect profile for this case.
Back in November 1997, an elementary school teacher in Rogers was forced into the school restroom and raped at gunpoint. The suspect wore a cap and sunglasses but no shoes. He was careful but left behind his DNA when he ejaculated onto the victim's legs, which she wiped onto her shirt. That DNA was a match for Grant Hardin.
The investigation revealed that the teacher routinely went to the school on Sunday mornings to work in preparation for the coming week. At the time, a local church congregation was meeting in the cafeteria of the school, and the teacher routinely worked with a co-teacher on Sunday mornings. On this particular morning, the victim worked alone in her assigned classroom. At approximately 11:30 a.m., the victim left her classroom to use the restroom. As she left the restroom a few minutes later, she was confronted by a male suspect holding a gun, wearing sunglasses and a stocking cap. The suspect ordered her back into the bathroom at gunpoint and proceeded to sexually assault her. At one point during the assault, the suspect moved the victim from the restroom to a nearby classroom where the assault continued. Following the assault, the suspect fled the scene and the victim called 911. RPD investigators noted that the suspect went to great lengths to conceal his identity and not leave any trace evidence behind. We fully credit the victim's quick thinking during the assault as the lone reason we were able to obtain a suspect DNA sample.
Grant Hardin pleaded guilty to these charges in 2019 and was given a 14-year additional sentence, separate from the murder sentence he was serving already. He will be 84 before he can even think of being free.
I wanted him to know, and myself to say, I'm not a victim. I didn't deserve this. This was you, and you deserve to go to prison.
But what did you make of his interrogation? Did he get the punishment he deserved? Comment your thoughts below, and keep watching Deadly Details for more fascinating insights into similar law enforcement videos.